Hi guys. I've been around in a few European countries. I'm English, my mum's American, and I've been living in Germany for quite a while. And everybody that's been to Germany knows exactly that they've got compulsory ID here. So you got this basically from birth. Your birth certificate, and as soon as you're the age of I think 14 or so, you have this thing that's called Ausweispflicht, which is compulsory ID. They've got ID cards, and they've had it since the Second World War. Basically, they I think 1954 or so they made ID compulsory, just like in the old days in the Nazi time, where everybody had to have ID. Now, and the people have got used to it over the last, I don't know, 50 years or so, and they don't know it any different. New generations grow up and they think it's absolute natural to have compulsory ID, and what they're doing now is they're putting the biometric data in it, and they're charging the people money, actually. They've got the fucking cheek to charge people money, right, to buy this governmental compulsory ID, and they've got the RAF chip in it, and soon you're going to have your medical records on it, your fucking DNA, I don't know, what fucking underpants size you got and what colour it is. They're going to have fucking everything in it. It's going towards this cashless society. I mean, we're paying by credit cards as it is, and you can't get anything done in this country here, like in Germany, without compulsory ID. You can't open a bank account. You cannot move freely, because if a cop decides to spot check on you, you have no idea. It's a criminal offence. He can. It'll just take you, run you up the station, and put you through the computer. Putting you through the computer means he'll take your fingerprints as if you're a criminal. You're constantly under criminal charge without this ID, right? And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. It's Gestapo, and it always has been, and it always will be, and it hasn't changed. Now, this is the thing which is going through the entire Europe and America at the moment. Everybody's talking about 2012. 2012. Most Western industry nations will all have ID, but using the German model. It's the German model. But what they're going to change with this ID is they're going to put the new technology into it, 21st century technology, 20 and 21st century technology, and put the chips in, and God knows what else, right? And obviously a bioscan you, meaning your face and all the rest of it, so computers can recognize your face on, I don't know, 50 meters or so. In other words, we are all living in Big Brother states then. This is no fucking joke. They'll put it in as voluntary, but sooner or later it will become compulsory, because you cannot get certain public services without this ID. In some countries it will go slower, in others it will be compulsory, and that's the way it's going to go. It will take one generation. Everybody's going to have biometric ID compulsory with all kinds of information on it. Now, I wasn't going to talk about that really. I was just going to talk about how far it is in the world and how many countries actually have this kind of ID. I think Holland is another country where you have compulsory ID. I think France, I'm not sure about France. I know exactly Germany, 100%. Since the Second World War, hasn't changed. During the Second World War, it was exactly the same. The Nazi had a compulsory ID as well. Ausweis, that's the way it is. I mean, there always have been a police state here, and it hasn't really changed, no matter if they're capitalists or not. So, now, what I was going to talk about is, I mean, I've been living in a country with compulsory ID, not being a native, and not being born here or anything. I've absolutely got no ties here. Now, what comes with a compulsory ID is compulsory registration, because you cannot apply for ID or get ID if you cannot get ID, which you need for day-to-day life, without registration. So that's going to be the first step. They're going to find out where the fuck do you come from first, right? Where you registered, because you got a birth certificate and that. They know your ID. That's not the problem. Alright, you get that from birth, you get the stamp straight on your ass from birth, your government property. What they do is, I'm just talking about Germany here. They force anybody, doesn't matter what nationality you are or so, they force everybody to register. Register means you've got to have some kind of document where you have bills on it, where your name is on it. where you have contracts and all the rest of it, or you've got to have some kind of a contract with your landlord. It's got to be on paper, it's got to be in writing, and they accept that. On that base, they register you. Obviously, if you're not an 8 and all the rest of it, you've got other procedures to go through as well, as if you're an illegal immigrant. But within Europe, they've got like 3 doors: the illegal people, the immigrants, then you've got the Europeans, and then you've got the natives. 3 doors. That's the way it goes. They split you up into 3 groups. This is happening globally, but Germany is like way advanced in this, and you know how they fucking tattooed the Jews through and pushed them through, killed 6 million of them in gas chambers. They know exactly how they're doing. They've got quite a lot of practice, and they haven't stopped doing this, basically, categorizing people, registering people, and pinning them down. I mean, since Germany fucking exists, you could say. Now, so you've got the 3 rooms. You've got the illegal immigrants, you've got the non-natives within Europe, and then you've got like your natives. So everybody goes through this registration system, and they know exactly where you are, and you get your documents, and then suddenly you've got this biometric ID, which you've got to fucking pay for, right? You've got to pay for the photo, you've got to pay for the ID, and all the rest of it as well. So they charge you for that as well. And then then they insinuate that you're free, you can do anything now what you want. Well, yeah, obviously, you're now owned by the government, you've got your fucking ID, your stamp, and anything you do also must comply to this federal government. Or that's the way it goes. We're not talking about the local laws and the local governments, we're talking about this federal thing. And because in Germany and is within the EU, they have actually made this ID a EU ID. So everybody has got exactly the same form, no matter what country you're in. It's just origin of country then. If you're in the UK, it's going to be GB behind it. If you're in France, it's going to be FR. If you're in Holland, it's going to be, I don't know, NL. If you're in Germany, it's going to be DE. And that's the way it goes. So they all look exactly the fucking same. European standard, norm. Now, I've seen some American shots of this IDs, right? What they look like. And they look exactly like European IDs. Exactly the same form. The things are in the exactly same corners. It looks exactly the same. It's fucking unbelievable, right? So much for that. Don't think this is not coming. It's fucking coming. It's coming for all Western civilizations, you could say. All old industry nations. We're all being categorized, registered, pinpointed down, and we're all going to get this fucking biometric ID earlier or later, either by hook or by crook. More by hook and by crook at the same time. It's going to be forced upon you, either way. Because if you do not take this, they've also made new laws, a new set of laws, which overrules all kinds of civil rights that you have. They've already done that within the anti-terror laws and all the rest of it, and they're going to anchor it into these laws so that they can say you're safe. It's all about fear-mongering. It's all about your safety and all the rest of it. I mean, if a fucking bomb's going to explode next to me, my fucking biometric ID is not going to save me from it, is it? Not really. I mean, but this is what they're insinuating. It's for our own safety, to keep the people out and all the rest of it. This is like nationalism, this is. What they're scared of is a bunch, I mean, I'm talking about millions and hundreds of thousands daily of illegal immigrants storming the borders, and they're not getting the control over this anymore when the food shortages kick in. That's why these Western governments are all preparing for this. They're categorizing us. They're becoming slowly but surely all police states, all fascist states. That's the way it is. That's what we're going into. This is like our new age. This is our big fucking surprise. Alright? And if you want to deny that, fucking deny it as much as you want, because it's happening. And it took fucking long, but it's happening, and it's even happening in the USA. And when you see the first signs in the USA, and certain things become compulsory in the USA, it's compulsory all over the world. I mean, Europe at the moment is leading this, and Germany is actually light years ahead of everybody else. Germany and France and Holland, they're ahead of everybody else. No, I mean, you've got like countries like the UK, they're still like saying, they've tried it, but they haven't done it properly, and it's for students, and if a student wants a student loan, then he's got to have this ID, and this is the way it's going to go. Alright? Okay, cut the long story short, I haven't got much time. I've got another 30 seconds. I think I'll make 2 videos out of this. I was going to explain how to stay under the radar within a compulsory ID system. And if you're interested, just tune in and watch part 2. Bye bye.